Hey, what's up? I'm Fat Cat. Welcome to the boiler room. What is up, everybody? Welcome to my 1,000 subscriber special. I decided I want to do something a little different for this mile mark on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to give you a tour of my entire trading room, my setup, and sort of my routine throughout the day. As you probably notice, I trade out of a closet, and it's covered with blankets. It's kind of like a blanket fort closet combination, and there's a reason for that. So we're going to dive into the nuts and bolts of everything. First and foremost, as the entire world knows, we have COVID. That's right, and with COVID, everybody is pretty much on lockdown and they stay at home. Well, with that being said, my kid doesn't go to school anymore. In fact, it's actually the summertime right now. And my girlfriend works from home. For years, I've traded in the dining room. And while everybody's staying home, it can be very loud and obnoxious. And then you have a 5-year-old hitting your monitors from time to time, playing around, just bumping into them. My girlfriend's very loud. And when she's on the phone, it can be very distracting. And then constantly hearing cartoons in the background is also pretty distracting when it comes to trading. So I decided to move into this room, which used to be a garage, which was converted into a room. Problem with it is part of this room actually floods when it rains really hard. Now, it's not a devastating flood by any means. It's just one little corner of the room. I had to rip the carpet up because it kept getting soaked with rainwater, and, well, the smell of mildew isn't very pleasant. Another thing is, this entire building is a duplex. I own it. I live on one side, and I rent out the other side. And, in fact, the wall separating this room from the other room, I think, has nothing in between it. So you can hear everybody living on the other side pretty clearly. And, well, when I decide to make videos or I'm talking to other traders, I need to dampen that noise, especially since there's no carpet in this room. And I want to keep my tenant happy because she pays rent on time. So this is exactly why I built a blanket fort around the closet doors. So let's go ahead and take a look at the components of that first. All right, everybody, let's start with this side of the trading room. As you can see, we have a closet door with a ratchet strap on it. It's actually 2 ratchet straps, and that is holding this mattress topper here. You can see it wraps around the outside of the closet door. It's very heavy, and I use that for sound deadening because the tenant's master bedroom is on the other side of this wall here, so I want to try to deaden as much sound coming from this side as possible. She will text me and bitch if she can hear loud noises. So again, she pays rent on time, and I definitely want to keep that going. Now, as you can see, we have a quilt on top here. But before we get into the blankets up there, I got this PVC rig sort of keeping these closet doors open. So if I try to grab it and pull it, it won't move. Pretty sturdy. Got some support beams in there. A lot of engineering went into this thing. So we got the quilt over here, and what that does is it drapes over the mattress topper on the outside. And then we got another blanket here, a different kind of blanket. This one actually, if I open my little curtain here, it actually is draped down over here as well. So this is like a second layer of sound deadening because this is my entry and exit right here. And then, of course, I got this curtain type deal, kind of like you'd see on an airplane, right? Slides on the PVC pipe. I was actually going to donate it, and when I was building this crap, I'm like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I could probably put it to use. This is a speed rack, giving some structure to the structure, and this is like a bread rack, basically. but it's great for storage. You can see I got some pins and markers and push pins, tape, whatever. Notebooks up here. Next shelf up, notebook. So just office supplies instead of cluttering my desk. And this mattress topper would flop open if this wasn't here. So yeah, it works out pretty well. Got a bungee cord holding some of it together. So let's go ahead and close this. Now there is no carpet in here, like I said, so usually rooms are a lot louder when you don't have carpet. So that's why this is like this, and it gets pretty fucking hot in here. I'm not gonna lie, it literally is a boiler room. So there's actually an AC vent on the other side of that blanket. I'm gonna kind of like cover some of it up and use a PVC pipe and kind of like pipe it in right here. Like you can see that. There it is. But you know what? When you're in the heat of the battle and the markets, got a lamp here. When you're in the heat of the battle of the markets, sometimes you need AC. Alrighty guys, let's move on to the next part of the tour. Let's talk about the stuff on the walls and what it kind of means to me and little routines and rituals I have around them, because we're not going to just show you the computer yet. I know you guys want to see that. But let's go ahead and talk about this, because you're probably wondering about that right now. Let's start with this back wall here, directly behind this infamous screen that is the backbone of my YouTube channel, the Depth of Market, the one that I look at the most. And right behind it, you can see this back wall. On the right, we have sort of a checklist, as you will, and these are little things that I'm trying to build habits around. I have a 10-minute timer interval, so the first 10 minute I do a 10 count of meditation. The second 10 minutes it goes off, I have to write in my journal, and then I have to say stop out loud for every trade so I don't move stops. And this will change from time to time. In the center we have my weekly goals, which is on different construction paper, because after a while, these things start to blend in, and if you change the color up, it'll kind of help attract your eye. So this particular week is don't chase sudden moves. And then I take all my other weekly goals, like don't look at the P&L, don't move stops, and I'll just post them on this wall here. And these are habits I want to continue. So what I do is I do it for a week. I grade myself on it. And then I try to make that a mainstay. So looking at your P&L is not good. It really isn't, because you start to lose context and you will start to play scorekeeper, I guess you could say, instead of trading appropriately. Now everybody's probably wondering, why the hell are there two Mike Bellafury pictures in here? I look like a teenage girl who's got her idol on the wall. That's exactly what it is. It's the shrine to Mike from S&B Capital. All hail Mike Bellafury. No, but in all seriousness, when I'm taking a trade, I glance over the computer and look at him, and he has this disgusted look on his face, like I'm about to do something really stupid. So I look at him, and then I really rethink my trades so I don't do something stupid to piss him off. It actually helps. When I got that printed at the print shop, they actually threw in a bonus one, so why let it go to waste? I put it over here, so when I'm looking at the actual charts on this screen, it's like there's two of them just looking over my shoulder. That fucking look. Since we're on this wall here, which is actually the last wall, I kind of just post little things here and there. such as screenshot, P&L, and divide with emotional temp check. I'll show you guys that a little bit later. Immediately screenshot Sierra charts when there's a fat trade and it works out well. The reason for that is I want to see the profile in the moment, not when it's fully developed. So I have to reset my recordings every now and then I need to get up every hour. And these X's here used to be my emotional temperature check-in. I'll go ahead and go over that because this is sort of the basic way I used to do it. It evolved from there. So it is actually sideways. So at each one of these three columns here, you want to imagine there's a smiley face where these X's on the left are. And then in the middle, imagine like a straight face. And on the right, imagine a frowny face. So my temperature, I will check one of three areas. The top X is, am I calm or am I worked up? The middle X is, am I focused or distracted? And the bottom X is, am I planned or reactive when I take trades? Obviously, all three of these are on the left column, which means I'm all good, which is the smiley face. Now, I know you can't see it and it doesn't make sense to you because I haven't drawn it out. Hold on, I'm trying to get this damn thing to stay straight. And then I would try to separate, like I said, I have an interval timer that goes off every 10 minutes. And the traders in my room actually like this. So every 10 minutes, I separate each of these columns. So this is a new emotional temperature check-in at 12:53. All good there. And as you can see right here, things start to get kind of fucking bad. And then they get even worse. So that's how it originally started. I tend to save paper. So that means nothing anymore because I do it on Google Documents. This is actually a cognitive journal. This is from Brent Stiebarger with S&B Capital. So you have three columns, A, B, C, and D. And A is the activating event, and market triggering negativity. So I would write in there something negative that happened. Some sort of activating event. Did I chase a trade, or did I just do something stupid? And then in column B, you write your belief and the events. What I am thinking about, what just happened, what's triggering me. I know you can't read my handwriting, and it looks like a serial killer wrote this note, almost like a ransom note. So just bear with me. So in column B, I would actually write my beliefs in what's going on. Column C is the consequences of these beliefs. So usually losing or taking bad trades or just a negative P&L that didn't need to happen. And then column D is disputing the beliefs. So I give myself like positive talk in column D. And when you do this every day at the end of the day, I'll probably do a whole separate video on this. I actually combine my emotional temp with the cognitive journal. Here's another emotional temperature. This is actually one of the older versions. You can see with the smiley faces, frowny faces. Every 10 minutes it's separated. So I combine the emotional temperature with the cognitive journal. I find they kind of go hand in hand, but when you keep writing this over and over, you start to get desensitized and you start to become more aware of bad behaviors. And the positive self-talk, what you're doing is you're programming yourself subconsciously to say good things when your negative beliefs arise because of some activating event that can cause bad consequences. So that's why these are there. I got a morning checklist over here, so let's just move that. I always set my headset here. I put the checklist behind it because if not, I'll forget. I don't actually mark it off, I just read it. I want to do a daily report card at the top. I want to make sure if my accounts on demo are live, because sometimes it changes by itself, which is fucking weird. If I didn't shut the computer down, and that can suck, depending on which account you're trying to use. I put up timer and sheet, so that means my interval timer and my cognitive sheet. I got to make sure I'm recording, because when I don't record the session, that also sucks. And I want to make sure my mic is on, because I like to self-talk through the session. And that actually helps me when I review my trades. And then when I'm done, I actually take this and put it in this little red notebook here, which has my post checklist. If it's a bad day, I just have verbal gratitude. I say thank you for this learning lesson, because that's actually how I've gotten better. I'll separate P&L. Basically, I separate my P&L with my cognitive journal. I definitely need to do a separate video on that. It's this complex system I'm trying to explain, but when I do my 10-minute check-ins, I want to draw lines on my P&L every 10 minutes so I can see how that affected my P&L. So I have to basically screenshot and draw lines, fill out my cognitive journal immediately after the trading session while all these thoughts are fresh in my head. I want to post on TraderView, that's my journal. This is just recorded reviews, kind of like what you see on my channel. I need to do a playbook, and then I need to finish the journal out. So this is pre-market, this is post-market. And generally I'll put this one on top of here and shove it fucking there. And then I have a Sunday checklist. Before the markets, I like to review my playbook, everything, read the entire journal for the week, make my weekly goal, and put out regular checklist. I don't know what that means. Oh, that means this. So I gotta remember to put this back up behind that. Otherwise, I'll forget. And then you can see a cognitive journal in there. This is one of the first versions. All right, everybody, I think what we're gonna do now is go down to the floor and look at the actual PC. Let's dive into that. Starting on the right, we have water, which is essential when it comes to trading. And then over here is a waste of money, in my opinion. It's Boost Oxygen. It's 95% pure oxygen. Kind of what fighter pilots use. You hit this trigger and you breathe in and you get a boost of oxygen. When you're sitting in front of a computer for hours at a time, you tend to get screen apnea. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Basically, your breathing starts to slow down and you're not getting as much oxygen to the brain. I went ahead and bought this just to see if it helped. I don't see any difference in it, really. This is a $14 fucking can. Never again. But there are studies proving that playing Tetris and using oxygen actually increases your performance, but I don't think a can would work. You'd want a mask, and I'm not going to go out of my way to do that. It was worth a shot. You know, any edge I can get. Let's move on to the computer here. This is an HP Z600 workstation. I love this thing. Bought it for $300 used on Newegg. So I'm going to explain why I got it. First and foremost, it's a $300 PC. It's very powerful. It's completely toolless for the essential components, as you will. So this has two processors in it. These are the biggest, baddest processors for this particular PC. So if you are interested in this type of setup, which is a great trading computer, by the way, a little more powerful than you would need, but I do a lot of different tasks on my computer. I stream, Discord, Sierra charts, Jigsaw, an interval timer, just all sorts of different things, so a workstation makes sense. Plus, again, $300 computer. If you buy this, you're going to want to make sure you get the one with the 2 processors. Don't get the best processors they have. You want to get the worst processors. They do sell models where it only has 1 processor. The problem is it won't have this heat sink with the fan on it. If you buy the model with 1 processor, and these things are fucking expensive. And what you can do is you can find processors from another company, and you can upgrade it a lot cheaper than you would if you were to buy it with the best processors in it. So that's a little trick. Same thing with the RAM. This is a little, like anything with green tabs, you just press it and it'll pop everything out relatively easy. It's on, so I'm not going to do that. Like the fans back here. This is a cover for the RAM, which it's maxed out. I don't remember if it's 42 or 48 gigs. But there's all these little fans in here to cool the RAM down. This is a streaming card. I don't use it anymore. This computer was used for production type stuff that I used to do. This is a 1050 Ti graphics card. It only has three outputs for monitors, which kind of sucks. I wish I had more monitors. But yeah, so you got your power supply down here, and you just pop this handle out and slide it. It's been a good PC. I've had that PSU go out once on it, so I replaced it. And then I put in a solid state drive. There is a lot of fucking dust in here. I literally cleaned it maybe 3 months ago. I'm not gonna fuck with it too much. That is a cap from a 5-hour energy drink holding this up. It doesn't have the proper thing for it, but you can put a lot of hard drive in this bad boy. Yeah, so this is just a mixer. I try to do some trick shit with the trading room, but I don't use this currently. I know this looks like shit, but the cable management is actually pretty good if we really get into everything. The way it's all managed and stuff, things come apart in components. Like I could take this whole thing down and it's designed to stretch, so I lift it up. It's just up here. Everything's zip tied up here. It just looks like shit, but you know, I cable tied a lot of this stuff, so my mouse and keyboard are cable tied together, so I can unhook them and use them for something else. Cable tie here, cable tie on the Ethernet cord. Of course, it's hard lined in. You want to do that when you're trading, and I don't want that Ethernet to get pulled during a session. And it's this super durable, it's like metal case. This thing's actually heavy, and you got these awesome carry handles on either side. You can't see in there, but let's go ahead and move to what's going on top of the desk. Alrighty, starting with the left, this is just Sierra charts. You'll occasionally see this in my videos. This is always on the left screen. Of course, the infamous depth of market on the center screen. We're all familiar with that, and the most important screen, in my opinion. Over here, I run other things. We got Discord over here. I'll run my streaming software on this screen. This screen I tend to just like change around. However, I do have a gift for those of you who've gotten this far in the video. This is a Discord link that will only work for 5 people. Once it's used up, it doesn't work anymore. So don't worry, most people don't get this far in the video. If this was posted within the last 48 hours, give this a shot. See what happens. Just because there's more than 5 views on this video doesn't mean people use this. Now, watch my trading room video, I should say, because if you're going to get in, you must participate. If you do not participate in the trading room, because it is a free trading room, you're going to get kicked, okay? I don't charge money for this, but I do require you to play ball. And if you're not willing to do that and you're just gonna be in there or just sit idle, you're getting kicked. So unfortunately, some people don't take that serious enough, and that's just how it is. Again, if you want to be a part of a community and you want to have more access to me, you want to hear me talk through the trading day, you want to see some of my setups and explain them to you, you're going to get a lot from this. But if you don't participate and you don't play ball, you're not going to get anything out of this room, okay? If you just come in here and surf, a lot of this stuff, a lot of my setups aren't going to make sense. So what you do is you get in here, you participate, you ask questions if you're new, share what you know, and we can all help each other. With that set aside, just a basic shitty mouse on a crappy mouse pad. Back here, this is the mic I use for the videos I make. So I'll pull this out, and all my YouTube videos, except for this one, are made on this microphone, and it's on a little stand with a weighted base back here. Of course, this topper is chewed up and has cat hair on it. As you can see, there's a cat. That is Groot. He lays here, and the cats like to alternate shifts. My chair has been jacked by Chimera, so typically I'll kick them out of here. I actually had to prop this up because they would all lay on these buttons here when they would come here. So this is propped up on a block of wood so their fat bodies don't hit hotkeys, because that's a problem when you're in the middle of a trade. So both of these are X keys. For instance, it's just macro pads. So watch this. So if I want to make my Sierra charts bigger or smaller, I'll hit these keys. So all I do is just slam that, and I can stretch it. And what it does is it plots the XY coordinates of your mouse. So, see, that's it. Very useful, actually. A lot of these buttons don't do what they are labeled for anymore. This is the change contracts from 1 to 6. These are just like, these are like little clear tabs, and then you got this paper, you can draw on them, or you can get custom keys made. I'll put that back in later. But this is 1 and 2 contracts, and these are key blockers. So this whole thing can be filled with keys, and this is so I can slide my fingers up here and guesstimate where 1 through 6 contracts are. This is the one I use all the time. I have an older video, how to get faster, I think, that shows this. A lot of these labeled keys don't do what they say anymore, except for these 4 here are the most important. This doesn't do shit with Twitter anymore. So this is like sandpaper for sand, like sticky sandpaper, and I cut it out with an X-Acto knife. Same with here, so I can feel out the keys and know what's what. This has Velcro on it. These are to market order, and it's very imperative I don't accidentally hit these buttons. That's why they have texture on top of them. This realigns my DOM automatically. This clears market orders. So anytime you're watching my videos where the depth of market, the center numbers are constantly disappearing, I'm manually hitting this button all the time, and I hold my fingers on here like so. I'll kind of move them around. This cancels an order, so if I'm trying to get in a trade and it doesn't seem like it's going to work, I don't want to get filled, I'll cancel. This is a flat key, which is very important to have. This is 2 lots, this is 1 lot, so with the key blocker right, oops, yeah, you gotta be careful. But with the key blocker right here, I can feel up to this 2 lots, so if I'm trading 4 and I want to scale out half, I'll move my finger up, like I can just look at the screen and feel my way into there. Same with down here. This is 1 lot. I'm not sure what these other buttons do, to be honest with you. So X keys, this is the smallest version you can get. Again, these key blockers don't come with it. This is the biggest version. It has a T-bar, which when he was a kitten, which he still kind of is, he chewed on it and broke it. But this is for more video production type shit, which I don't do anymore, so I utilized it for trading. Really shitty keyboard. But what I do is I'll shove the keyboard up there. I can't do it because he's there. And then I'll slide this right in front of me. And then I'm always working the mouse, and then my left hand is here jamming the buttons. So that's kind of what's going on the desk. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that tour of my trading room. My seat's been jacked by a cat. Not much I can do about that. Plus, they'll bust down the bedroom door if I don't let them in. And I am Fat Cat after all, so it's only natural my minions hang out with me. Anyways, thanks for the support, guys. Hope you enjoyed that tour of my trading room in its current state.